It was heavy. I had to stop a lot. I was crying a lot. Uh-oh. Scary happened.
Of course, anybody who's followed your career, and I consider myself a day one Mary J. Blige fan, we've seen you go through the ups and downs, but you put it all together in one documentary. Why did you feel like the time was now to let people in an even more personal way? You've always done it through your music, but now we visually get to put the pieces together and really get a feel for what your life was like, both in the spotlight and out of it. So why was now the time?
Well, I know 2 years ago, I was on tour on the royalty tour with Nas, and we was both celebrating the 25th anniversary of our albums, our iconic classic albums. And Time Magazine was celebrating the 25th anniversary of the My Life album, and like Billboard magazine was celebrating. Everybody was celebrating it, and I was like, well, while I'm on this tour, I'm going to celebrate the My Life album, and I'm going to attach a documentary to it. I'm going to have the cameras follow me around and talking to the fans. And I just felt like it was time because it was being celebrated, and it was the 25th anniversary. And so, what comes with that is conversation, and what you see in the documentary, what comes with that is just truth and what we lived through. And, when you go back through these, when you start talking about the process of getting to the My Life album and making the My Life album, it's not going to be a happy it's not going to be a happy interview, but it's going to be a healing interview. People are going to get healed and get inspired because they see your truth. They see you telling your truth and what you lived and how you felt. And it's not going to be a chipper. It's going to be like, oh man, and I went through this on this song. I was going through this on this and this. So, yeah, it was time. It was time for people to see how the movement was created, first of all. How the fan base was, the tight fan base was created.
Hmm. Um, how often, or when's the last time you listened to My Life?
I listened to My Life maybe 3 months ago.
Hmm.
I listened to it from top to bottom, just drinking wine and listening to it. And wow, all I can say is every time I get to be with you, I just start crying because I remember how I felt. I remember how I felt wanting that person to love me. He didn't want me around. And that whole album just was begging and pleading and hoping, somebody would love you, would not knowing that I needed me to love me.
If there was one track on My Life that you felt like kind of really captured where you were emotionally and mentally at that point, like where you were, which song would it be?
Shit, it would definitely be it would be the whole album because the album is a movie. Then I was trying to, even in my dark times, I was trying to have some fun somewhere, sometimes. And My Life is probably the song that would start it from, because that starts from childhood. That's the first song I've ever heard in my life. Roy Ayers, Everybody Loves the Sunshine. And it would probably be My Life. I can't say that. It's the whole album,
Well, I guess that was what I loved about the documentary. And I don't know why I never thought of it this way. I mean, I'd heard you say in many interviews before that this was a pure reflection of what you were going through, but I never looked at it like a memoir. And the documentary helped me look at it like a memoir, especially the way it's broken down into the segments using the lyrics from the song. And what was for you, and I say this speaking from the perspective of somebody who is finishing the edits on their memoir, and there were times where I was writing pages and crying at the same time, remembering things. So what was it like for you to have to relive some of this to put it in this documentary?
It was heavy. I had to stop a lot. I was crying a lot. Uh-oh. Scary happened. I was crying a lot. It just, you don't have to think about it. It just shows up when you start talking about it. I didn't know, looking at my siblings part of the interview, I didn't know they was going through all the stuff that they was going through, or they saw things the way they saw it. I didn't know Bub was, doing drugs just like me. I didn't know, it was a lot that made me, sad, made me feel sad, not just for me, but for everybody else, because it was such a heavy time. And to hear everybody else's testimony, it was like, damn, like, that this album really is important, because all of us heal from it. All of us are here to tell the story. So it was a lot of crying, a lot of stopping, a lot of just remembering stuff like it's fresh again.
Mm. Now, we only a couple years out from my life being 30 years old, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. So I'm like, so what you gonna do at 30 then?
We're gonna be on tour on the 30th. We're gonna
Okay.
Big show. We're gonna have an all girls show. Everybody's gonna have their my life moment of whatever their my life moment is. Singers, testimonies, everybody.